juice? Who's got the juice? Smooth.
Okay, I know it seems that everyone seems to be talking about this series at the moment, but come on, we've just had the Crash Bandicoot N-Sane Trilogy. I mean, can you blame us if we've been holding all this energy up for ages, and this is the perfect time to let it out? Here we go, a series I have wanted to talk about since I probably started doing the Juicy Treat show is Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot will always be incredibly dear to my heart, not only because the series is absolutely amazing and I absolutely love the series to pieces, but also because it started my gaming life. Yeah, before I could even play games, I have memories of I don't even know how old I probably would have been, just since before I was born. But from my memories, all I remember is just watching my dad and my brother play Crash Bandicoot Warp together. This was at a time where I couldn't play games myself, you know, when you're too young and you can't comprehend how things work. But I just remember sitting there just watching them play it, and it got me into video games. The main thing I remember from watching my brother and my dad play this game was they used to have a competition they called the Bandicoot King, where basically they did a boss level and they had to die as little as possible and do it as quickly as possible, and whoever died the least and did it the quickest won the crown. They used to do this like early on Saturday mornings sometimes, they used to do it in evenings, I can't even remember when they did it, they just did it whenever they felt like it. But I just remember sitting there watching these competitions, and they could be quite intense, as this was back when Jim was still a kid and the PS1 first came out, so no one was like a pro PS1 gamer at that point, let's say. But I used to just sit there and watch, and I always used to think, one day I could be a part of these competitions. But then when I was old enough, because I was the only female who played them, because my mum is not a gamer in any way, I was automatically the Bandicoot Queen, so I kind of feel a bit cheated, because I didn't really earn it, but that's the main memory I have from watching this game anyway. But then as I got older, the first game I ever played, the first one that I picked up that controller and I just completely played it when I finally could, was Crash Bandicoot Warped. Oh my god, I think I just broke the box even more. This box is incredibly fragile and I think I just held it too tight. Oh, is the disc okay? Yeah, the disc is okay. Whew, look at that. Old thing. But then when I was finally old enough to play games, guess what the first game I played was? Yes, it was Crash Bandicoot Warped for the PS1. This is the first game that I ever played, and that's why this game is always going to hold a special place in my heart. I will never let this game go. I mean, this box has had a life to it. You can tell it's quite a fragile old case, so that's why I'm holding it very delicately. But I just remember playing these levels. I mainly played like the first world, and obviously because I wasn't like, it's my first game, I wasn't going to completely 100% it and whatnot, but I did the first world for it, and then I remember just doing the Purah level pretty much over and over and over again, because the Purah level was my favourite. I loved Purah, I thought he was adorable, and I thought Purah was a girl, but going from my Crash Boom Bang review, everyone in the comments is telling me he's a boy, but I'm still going to associate him with being a girl in my childhood set, but then again, it doesn't matter if he's a boy or a girl. Purah's a freaking tiger and he's adorable. I remember doing this level over and over again. It's one of my absolute favourites, especially when I was a kid. But I also remember I used to really struggle with one particular boss, and that boss was actually Tiny Tiger in the first world. I don't know why, I could do all the other boss levels. When I finally played this game fully, I could finally do all the other boss levels, but Tiny Tiger's the only one that I thought was an absolute bastard. I thought the other ones were fine, but Tiny Tiger, even playing it today, I get really, really intense, because just the memories of me failing him and dying and getting really angry and then playing it at my friend's house and trying to beat it then and I couldn't do it. Tiny Tiger just completely scarred me, and even when I was playing on the N-Sane Trilogy I was like, okay, I can't die. I cannot die in this boss level. I have had too many experiences. And I think even Jim will sometimes reference the fact how much I struggled on this boss when I was a kid, and this boss, man, it just scarred me for freaking life. But this is a game that I have just always played. I mean, I've been playing it through my exams. I remember playing it through like my A-levels and whatnot to help me relax. I've been playing it recently on my Vita to finally get the 100% ranking. I remember playing it when I was a kid and then talking to it with people at school. I remember playing it the first ever time. It's always been there. I constantly played it, and I don't think it's ever gonna go away. It's my special game. It's the game that I will never ever let go. I then went backwards and started Crash 2 next, because what happened was, I believe it was one evening and we had my grandma come around to visit, and I just have a very vague memory of seeing this game in a basket one evening. And it had, so this game was like in the front of it and it had ants on VHS, you know, the DreamWorks film behind it. and I can't remember if this is 100% true. I just remember seeing this game, Ants on VHS, and a basket. That's the main, oh, and Evening. That's the only thing I remember. But when I saw this game, it was like the first time I physically saw the box, since we had this game on demo, and we always used to see like Crash on a jetpack, this, that and the other, since that was like the main selling point for Crash 2, about space, this, that and the other. But the level they showed was the polar level, and my god, this was like the best demo ever when I was a kid. I used to freaking love this polar level. I played it so many times, so when I actually got the game, I felt as if I knew it like the back of my hand. And Polar is still freaking adorable, and I freaking love him, and it's still one of my favourite levels ever, and I prefer Polar more than Para now because he's so freaking cute, and I just remember playing the demo over and over and over again. It was just such a good choice for a demo disc. But in actuality, I don't remember playing this game that much when I was a kid. The main thing I remember was watching Jim play it when he was a kid, and whenever we hit the Polar stage, that's the only one I wanted to play. Literally, I just get up to the Polar level, and then I just do that over and over again. I didn't need to do anything else. I didn't need the rest of the game. I just played this game for Polar. And then when I found out there was a second Polar level in the next world, oh bloody hell, you better believe that I then got all the crystals in the second world just so I could play the second Polar level, because I just needed Polar. Nothing else. But in actuality, I never actually properly played this game until I was around, I'm gonna say like 9, 10 years old, I think, you know, when you're quite late into your childhood years. And I just remember getting all the crystals. I never 100% completed it. In fact, I don't even think I got that many gems. I probably got one coloured gem back then, and that was the blue one, because you just had to, spoilers by the way, you just had to avoid all of the boxes in the first level, and then you got the blue gem, so it's like a nice and easy one. But yeah, I actually didn't 100% this game until this year, because it was always a gaming sin of mine that I never 100%ed Crash 2, even though I love Crash 3 so much. And I've played this game multiple times. I've played it like throughout my years again. I remember playing this again through my exams. I think I had like a Crash Bandicoot phrase through my exams, because I mainly remember playing, or like trying to marathon them. But played it, never 100%ed it, and then I thought, nope, this is it. I'm finally gonna 100% it. And bada bing, bada boom, I did it, and I was so happy. Gaming Sing ticked off, and playing them now, I think that Crash Bandicoot 2 is a better game, because I got more enjoyment replaying that, or getting the bonuses, let's say. Okay, Crash 2 is better at getting like the gems and all the secrets and trying to 100% complete it, but Crash Bandicoot Warped is just my favourite. I don't think none of them are gonna like overtake Crash Bandicoot 3, but 2 I think is a better game, and then Crash 3 is my favourite game, I think. That's what I'm gonna go with. I know I'm gonna change my mind after this video, but for now, that's what I'm going with. And last but not least, in the original trilogy, I played Crash Bandicoot 1, which I never finished. I just could not finish this game. I think I couldn't even get up to, I think the furthest I got in the PS1 version was actually Koala Kong. I think that this game is just so freaking hard, because to save it you need to get the gem, and then to get the gems it's like you have to do a level without dying, and this was just, it was too challenging for me. I haven't picked up this game since I've, let's say, developed as a gamer, but I remember playing this as a kid, and then in my early teens again, like when I was doing my exams, but I just couldn't beat it. I think I pretty much stopped playing this quite like early into my exams, because it was causing me more stress than relaxation, so I thought, nah, I'll beat this game another time. But I have finished Crash 1 on the Crash N-Sane trilogy, which I'm super happy about. So all I've got to do now is tackle this one again once I've done the N-Sane trilogy. I'm trying to 100% the N-Sane trilogy and whatnot. And then I'm going to finally give this one another shot, and we'll see how it goes. But I do actually have more experiences with this game, because I played it on BuddyGames. Well, I didn't play it actually. We had a guest, WhaddupNico, he played it, because I gave him a challenge saying, I bet you can't beat this game in like under 3 hours or something like that, and to give him credit, he proved me wrong. He didn't 100% it, but he bloody well finished it, and we've got the whole thing on BuddyGames. It was actually a really fun playthrough, so I'm going to promote it now. So if you want to watch us all have bants about Crash Bandicoot and take the piss out of Nico, then watch the Crash Bandicoot playthrough on BuddyGames, because it was a lot of fun, and you can see me being like really impressed, because I'm just like, I've never beaten this game, and now I feel really bad, even though I love Crash Bandicoot, but I will beat this one day, I promise. And next, a Crash Bandicoot game that I actually have tons of memories with is Crash Bash. The reason I have so many memories with this is because I never played the single player, but I always played it with brother Jim. I even remember seeing it like on the supermarket shelf, you know, in the media section, and then we asked my mum if we could have it for a treat, and she actually treated us to it, which was very, very nice of her. And we played it multiplayer, and we were like, we're gonna 100% beat this, it's gonna be absolutely great, we're gonna do this working as a team. But the whole thing resulted in either Jim getting incredibly stressed, so he ended up playing it in silence, because if I said one word, he said I wasn't focusing, and then it was my fault that we lost. Or that it was the game's fault that we lost, or that it was, like, the game was being unfair, and the AIs, this isn't Super Monkey Ball, the AIs were, like, completely unfair, this, that, and the other. And I just remember, like, me hardly wanting to breathe for fear that if I said something, I'd either break Jim's concentration or anything wrong would go wrong, because anything wrong would go wrong. Anything bad would happen, let's say, because if anything went, Jim would flip. And we got actually pretty far on this. I think we got to the last world, but when you're a kid, this is blooming hard to get the trophies, the gem and the crystals. It's really freaking hard. I still find it weird how, like, the crystal is, I think that's the hardest one you can get, even though I think it should be, like, let's say crystal, gem, and then a trophy, because the trophy's like, you did it, hey! But I just have memories playing with this, and oh my god, look at the back. Oh my god, this is like all different. It's like they've got the pogo stick level, but it's all old. And oh my god, that's so weird and cool. I've just noticed this, sorry. Oh my god. But I'm actually even playing this again with WhaddupNico on Whaddup Streams, which is his streaming channel on Twitch. And actually, from playing it again, I realised that my experiences from when I was a kid are reflecting me now, because I'm, like, so silent, I'm so focused, and I'm shouting at the game so much, calling, like, ding-a-da, that arsehole, this, that, and the other, you know, as you do when you play video games and you get really intense. But I've actually been told I'm quite scary when playing this game, because I am just so focused, I just shout at the game, and then bless him, if Nico does anything wrong, I'm like, focus on the game! You do. And I see myself in Jim, which is really weird, but I'm gonna blame my experiences from when we played it as a kid, so yeah, this one's a game I've got many memories with. And finally, from the PS1 set, we have CTR, Crash Team Racing, which I haven't actually played that much. I played multiplayer with Jim, but most of my experiences with this game, oh, it's kind of like old dust, but most of my experiences with this game were watching him play the story campaign and everything. I did play this, I think, for a bit once, but this was at a time, I think, then I just found another game or a new game came out, and then I played that instead. But I just remember playing the multiplayer on this mainly, doing the challenges, but playing it myself, I haven't actually done that much. But I do want to play this, because I've heard this is such an amazing kart racer to do single player and play it properly. I think I did do the first world, but that was ages ago, and I don't really remember it that much, but this is one that I'm saving. Once I've done the N-Sane Trilogy again, I'm going to play this one straight after, I reckon, and once I play it, then I'll be able to be like, oh my god, look at this, CTRs, and then I'm going to be like, realise what I've missed out on for all these years, because I've heard it's amazing, and I am very much looking forward to playing it. Okay, this is the part in Crash where everything's in the next generation, PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and these ones I'm going to give you a brief overview on my experience with them, as I think this juicy treat has gone on long enough already. Crash Bandicoot, Wrath of Cortex. We had this for PS2, and the main things I remember were the loading screen, just the boom 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 boom, and seeing Crash's nose like bounce up and down. But I mainly remember those loading screens, watching Jim play it, and he used to really like the medieval levels. I think he still does now, actually. And waiting for him to get to like the alien reference, you know, when he's in the yellow mecha thing, being like dun 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 dun. And the only thing I mainly remember playing of this game was actually the Coco levels. I just really liked Coco when I was a kid. If it wasn't Pera, I wanted to be Coco in China, and I really liked her karate kick, and I really liked the levels, so that was the only one I really wanted to play. But I do actually remember playing this by myself once, and I got stuck on the second boss, like, the boss battle. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do his watery mask, who's voiced by the guy who's the colonel and whatnot, and he's always like, Crash Bandicoot! How dare you go into our world, this, that, and the other. That was a great impression, by the way. But couldn't beat his boss battle. Next game, Crash Nitro Kart. Again, very similar story with CTR. All I remember is watching Jim play the story campaign and us having multiplayer battles and races. I don't think I ever actually did this one in a single player campaign, but so if anything, I've played more CTR than I have of this, but main memories, watching Jim play and playing multiplayer. Crash Purple from the Game Boy Advance. Now, this one's a bit of an odd one because I've never had that many experiences with this game individually, because what Jim and I did is as we got older, we decided that he was going to ask for the Crash Bandicoot games for Christmas and I was going to ask for the Spyro game for Christmas. So he got Crash Bandicoot Purple and I got Spyro Orange. So my experiences with like these two partnerships with Spyro Orange, so I remember seeing the Crash Bandicoot characters and being like, oh my god, but Jim was the one who had Crash Purple and I was the one who had Spyro Orange, and we did swap like every now and then, but we just sort of stuck to our roots and did what we did really. Crash 2 on the Game Boy Advance. I remember playing the hell out of this game when I was a kid because it was like the first Crash Bandicoot game I owned on the Game Boy Advance that I could take on holiday with me. I loved my Game Boy Advance, I thought it was absolutely great, and I still do. And I just remember playing it all the time, and then my brother, he got further than me, and that made me upset because it was my game, and it still is, it's in my cupboard, so I might actually pick it up at some point again actually. But a lot of fun with this game, and there was another Crash Bandicoot game on the GBA, I can't remember what it was called, but Jim was the one who had that one, and I played a bit of that one, but I think I'm getting the two of them muddled up in terms of like my memories from them, so all of them as a whole, I'm going to say I really enjoyed the Crash Bandicoot GBA games, and I just remember playing them on holiday. Crash Twinsanity for the PS2 was next. Again, I didn't play this individually much when I was a kid, I mainly watched Jim play it. I think I did like the first area, but I think I got to the engine boss battle, that's as far as I got. But I mainly watched Jim play this game, and I remember having such a laugh with it because I think it's a really funny game, I still do to this day. It's freaking Cortex, I find him hilarious. But the reason I didn't play this one that much was because when Jim asked for this game, I asked for Spyro A Hero's Tale for the Xbox, so while he played the PS2 one, I played the Xbox one, and then he'd sometimes watch me play Spyro, I'd sometimes watch him play Crash. But I did like play a bit of this individually as well, and it was a lot of fun when I was a kid. I know some people are like, oh, it's not a Naughty Dog game and the platform is and it's not a Crash game, but if memory serves me correct, I still had a lot of fun with it. I don't know if it's aged or anything at all, because I haven't played it in so long, but I would love to revisit this game, because I still revisit the cutscenes, and I think it's great. Well, it's not great, I think it's funny. I don't know if, like I said, don't know if it's aged or whatnot. But also the music in it is amazing. If you ever want to listen to a good soundtrack that's like weird and goofy, but really, really good, I can't recommend the Twinsanity music enough. I mean, I used it in my Crash Boom Bang review, and I had so many people in the comments being like, oh, the Twinsanity music, yay! So everyone seems to love it. Crash Tag Team Racing for the PS2. I only remember one thing about this game, and that was the fact that it was alright. I never played it myself, or might have done like a few multiplayer races, but I never did the single player campaign. I just remember Jim playing it, and I think he thought it was alright. And I remember one like little poem from a weird Wumpa Fruit villain, and he's like, Hadley, Hidley, ho! To the statue you must go! This way or that, fall down, you'll go splat, and everyone thinks you're a schmo. That's the only thing I remember from this game. So I don't think it left that much of a good impression on me. Crash Boom Bang for the DS. Worst experience of my life. If you want to see it, check out my review. Next! Crash of the Titans. I got this game for the Wii from my stepbrother, as he was getting rid of all of his Wii games as he never used the Wii, and he just gave us all of these random Wii games, and Crash of the Titans was one of them. So I played it for a bit, and I got bored, so I stopped playing it. I don't have any more experiences with that. But I do actually sometimes reference the cutscenes in this game because, my god, they're appalling. They're so innuendous, they're so sexual, like sometimes even inappropriate. So me and my buddy Alex sometimes will just reference them this, that, and then, oh my god, we're both just like, oh my god. I do actually aim to cover this game as a review. I'm saving it for a special, I'm not sure which one yet, but we'll see how that goes when I review it. And finally, you've got the Crash N-Sane Trilogy for the PS4. I got this game the day of its release. I have been excited for it for so freaking long, and I'm absolutely loving it at the moment. It was annoying because I got it on, so obviously it was the 30th of June, and I was flying to another country the day after. So I nearly finished Crash 1 in that first night once I finished work. So I played it all the time then I went over and played it at someone else's house in another country, and then I came back, and now I'm currently doing Crash 2, and I'm just about to 100% Crash 2. I'm getting all the relics, like, once I've 100% them and whatnot. But absolutely enjoying it so far. It's a real good challenge. It's really good to see the old Crash games, like, come to this generation, and it's so good to see people talking about it. I mean, I've got friends saying like, oh, have you played Crash Bandicoot, this, that and the other, oh, I'm really stuck on this part, and I'm like, oh yeah, people giving Crash the love again. It's so good and it's so satisfying, and I'm so happy it's done so well in the sales and everything, because maybe we will get a Spyro remaster, maybe we will get all of these classic games. Imagine like a Klonoa one, but on the PS4, if you know what I mean, like not on the Wii, because I know they did it, but just think of all these games coming back. It's going to be awesome if they do keep it going. But Crash N-Sane Trilogy, I'm playing it at the moment and I'm absolutely flipping loving it. So, Crash Bandicoot. This has probably been the longest juicy treat I have done, because this, I always knew this was going to be a big one, because I've just got so many experiences with this series, and it's one that's always dear to my heart, and I grew up with it. I mean, what can I say? It started my gaming journey, it's still in my gaming journey. Everything about this series, it's just, Crash has always been there for me. And freaking look, I've even got like some of the old toys. You remember these? I don't know, everyone does, because everyone remembers how expensive they were. But we had like 2 Crashes on a surfboard. I had then a Crash on the motorbike, and Jim got a Dingodile. But he hasn't got his backpack or anything, so he's literally just Dingodile, and his mouth's like, "Rrr," but sometimes his mouth falls off because these weren't the most sturdy of toys, let's say. And apart from that, I've also got these gems. I don't know where the crystals have gone, but I've got an orange gem, a clear one, and a red one. The clear one I remember definitely being mine. I don't remember which set that came in, but I can't remember where these 2 came from. I think maybe orange was with Dingodile? I can't, let go of my hair, Dingodile. Get that out of your arm, that's my hair. But got these toys anyway, and I'm gonna hold on to them even though Jim has moved out and he forgot them. But I've also got like a custom made PS1 by Nico, and I absolutely freaking love this. I always have it on display, and I've had it for like 2 years now. But I absolutely freaking look, it's even got like a controller as well. So this is really freaking cool, and I can't wait to, it works and everything. But I can't wait to display it, and then you can open it and like it's all done this and the other. But I absolutely love this, and I just love Crash Bandicoot really. What can I say? Just Crash, what a guy. Freaking love him to pieces, and I can't wait to see if like the N-Sane Trilogy is gonna be like encouraging more Crash and whatnot, but time will tell. I am just incredibly satisfied with this series, and I hope you guys love it as well.